السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا بفضلك علما. I would like to welcome everyone and thanks a lot for showing up and showing interest in joining our webinar in behalf of Global Performance Management Academy, which has a quarter in Toronto, in Canada, and for colleagues as well in the Middle East. Their office is in Cairo. I would like to welcome all of you to this episode of our series of webinars, which we have been running regularly now for maybe a couple of years. Every week we have either one or two webinars every Saturday or Tuesday, or one day of these 2 days. And the topics that usually we select at GPMA are related to the core business of GPMA, which is strategic planning and performance management. Our guest speaker today is Professor Nader Nada. We are very glad that he managed to give us the time to join us. He's joining us, in fact, all the way from New Jersey in the United States. And I'm speaking to you from Medina Al Munawwara. The topic of this is what I advise everybody to put any communication. I should be doing this right away. The topic of today is business innovation and the digital transformation. And I would just like to give a very short bio of Dr. Nader Nada. He is the Dean of Albert Schweitzer School of Management, ASSM, the Allendon Professor of Innovation Management and Digital Transformation at Cambridge Corporate University in Switzerland. He lives in New Jersey in the United States, but he's the Dean of a business school in Switzerland. This shows us how the whole, we became a global village. And I'm here from Medina, and many of the participants are coming from many countries, from Turkey, from Bangladesh, all the way in Bangladesh, from the States, from Norway. I'm very glad we have such a nice crowd. I wouldn't take much time from Professor Nader Nada, so I will leave the floor to him. Welcome, Professor Nada, and thank you so much for giving us your time and preparing this presentation and sharing your knowledge with us. We have about 50 minutes for your presentation. This will be followed by 10 minutes to answer the questions which the attendees will post in the chat. So if any of you have any questions or comments, please put it in the chat. And instead of addressing it to all the attendees, just address it to the panelists, and inshallah, we will try to address most of them by the end of the presentation. Dr. Nada, the floor is yours. Thank you very much again. And inshallah, we look forward for an interesting presentation.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity and invite me for this webinar. I'm also glad to welcome all my colleagues, students, partners all over the world. Our topic today is really one of my passion areas of expertise, and I'm glad to share with you some of this experience. Should I share my screen?
Yes, please share the screen. Go ahead.
Okay.
Now we can see your screen, Dr. Nada.
That's great.
Yeah, just put it in a presentation mode so it becomes more readable.
Yeah, I will. I don't know where is the presentation over there.
I think we can use page view and select for full screen.
Where is that?
And the top,
Here?
not down.
I don't see
Yeah.
the presentation.
Left.
Not here. Maybe I
This
can.
this is a PDF or PowerPoint?
No, this is PDF.
No. Do you have the PowerPoint?
Yes, I do. No problem.
Yes, it's better to use the PowerPoint.
That's fine.
No, the down one. I think another file, Professor.
You opened another PDF.
Oh, another PDF. Okay. Let me go back.
Yeah, down. IFF 1, 2.
One is PDF. Okay.
Yeah, this one.
This one. I'm sorry for. I was expecting that the PDF file will work fine.
It worked. I think you should activate it first and then display, please.
Activate is not good to be activated now.
Okay.
That's why I use the PDF file.
Yeah, if you have any problem, I can share from my screen. I have your.
Yeah, share it with me, please.
Yeah, okay.
From your side.
Okay, Bismillah. You see screen now?
Yes. Okay. In the beginning, I'm going to introduce some information about innovation, because not all the participants are familiar with what is innovation actually. And many people think that innovation is just a product or a service. Actually, there are many types of innovation, and I'm going to go over it right now very quickly because we need to cover a lot of material today. And I am actually answering these questions, the relationship between innovation, creativity, and entrepreneurship, and why we do need innovation, and who needs innovation, and how to manage. Actually, our presentation today is answering all these questions, but mostly the last one, how to manage innovation in any organization. There is a strong relationship between creativity and innovation, and the creativity itself is about introducing new ideas, but not implemented yet. And there are a lot of techniques and tools and mechanisms to produce not 100, not 1,000, but millions of new ideas and solutions to solve our challenges in life and in technology and in industry. And innovation is about taking this idea and try to test it, make sure it is successful and it is economic, and it is worth really taking it to mass production and make it available to the general use. The entrepreneurship is about really taking after making sure that everything is really acceptable from the end users and from the owner of the idea, etc. We need someone who has the spirit of establishing new company that will use and make it available and commercialize the product or the services or the process and etc. So there are really a strong relationship between these three elements. I call them the triangle, innovation triangle. Can you take the next slide, please? That's the relationship between these three elements that's important to our society and industry and technology, etc. Next. Also, the purpose of innovation is really to take the idea and transfer it to an economic value or economic benefit. Because maybe you have the best idea in the world, but from economic side, it is very expensive, or it is not accepted by the end users. And that's why it should have economic value. Next. And now we are in the era of knowledge economy. Actually, many countries all over the world are really, their economy is based on bringing new products, services, processes, and the other elements of innovation to the market and make it in use for the public. So the competition now between the leaders all over the world is really about innovation, either community or either governments or either institutions. All of them are competing for good ideas to be implemented and benefit and solve the human challenges every day. Next. Actually, they are ranking the countries all over the world every year. And they rank them according to certain criteria. Next slide, I will show you these criteria quickly. I don't want it to take much of the time, but it's just quick introductions. It really look at the innovation input and innovation output. What we put in regarding institutions, regarding human capitals, infrastructure, market sophistication, and business sophistication. All these are inputs, and they measure it. They gather a lot of information from each country, and there is a committee that will take care of that, and they rank it accordingly. And then when they want to see the output, like scientific results, like creation of values and goods and services, etc. And after that, they rank it every year. And as you can see, small country like Switzerland in the top of the rank. And also Sweden is a small country comparing to the United States and the United Kingdom. And as you can see, there are a lot of Nordic countries, maybe 10 million, between 5 and 10 millions only, but they are very creative. And they have infrastructure and system, educational system that will help them to be ranked at the top. Next. Also, they rank the companies. They compete with each other. And as you can see, big names here like Apple, like IBM, like Siemens, etc. Every year they have new ranking for the best top 100 companies all over the world. Next. So the question is really how we can develop our system to compete internationally and really to develop the human capital that will manage the ecosystem. And it is about, actually, I have a challenge when I was, I have a challenge when I was in Egypt to convince them to establish the first innovation center. I spent about 5 years. I put strategic plan and I have an international network even to fund this, the center itself, but I couldn't succeed because the system is not ready yet to accept this kind of infrastructure and human capital, etc. It wasn't ready, and the people there are not ready. So I have to leave to Europe at that time and establish the first master program in innovation and entrepreneurship, and the first innovation lab in cooperation with the industry and German institution. It's called the Hasso-Plattner Institute in Berlin. And after establishing the department, I have students from all over the world, and also I accept students from every specialist or expertise. We don't have really a condition, what are your undergraduate degree about? Maybe teacher can join us. We accept ideas and the expertise from anybody, and I believe that human being is born creative. You are creative. Everybody is creative. The challenge is that the system, the social situation, the education system is challenging many people, and they don't know how to use these unlimited capabilities. But I want to make sure, and you make sure, that you're born creative. You are the master of this universe and equipped with all the means to succeed, not to fail. But as I mentioned, the challenge is about how to use these capabilities, how to enhance it. And the brain is like muscles. The more you can use, the more you really get a lot of output and results, unbelievable results, and unbelievable capabilities, and unbelievable outcome. So quickly, I'm going to mention these types of innovation. Next. As you can see, there is business model innovation. The way we do business can really be very innovative. And in these days, there are many business models that doesn't exist for a long time and making a lot of profits. Of course, the most common type is product and services, and also how to process our needs in industry, or process our business, whatever, to come up with certain results. This also innovation, how really to minimize the time and the effort and human capital to minimize all of this. This needs a lot of innovation. Also, the structure of the organization and the culture of the organization is a way of coming up with new organizational structure and new culture, really to compete with others and be differentiated. So these are the different categories, and under each one of them, hundreds and thousands of outputs and different types of innovation. Next. I'm going to go through these slides very quickly, so please make it very quickly. All these slides is just representing what I just mentioned. Next. 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 Everybody, every organization needs, next, innovation. Next. Society, clients, and business. Society challenges like climate, like energy, like education, transportation, healthcare. All these are immediate challenges that we are trying to solve and find solution for it. Next. Also, the next slides make it very quickly. This is just some questions. Next. Next. Now, there was a research by Price Water Company about really how we can really go, and also this is the result from 10,000 people in industry and business, talent, strategy, human resources, technology expert, etc., from 138 countries. And the result was really amazing. Next. 77% of most of them are CEOs and top management in different companies and different area of expertise. And they answered the one question, creativity and innovation skills needed, heavily needed, immediately needed. It's very important, 77%. So please, can you skip these messages because it's disturbing. I want you to take out this window from here. No, go back one slide. Go back one slide. And they asked all the participants one slide. Go back. Yes, next. No. Go back. Just advance. This is not back. Advance more. Yes. Go back. Yes. They asked the top business priorities. They said innovation, human capital, and digital and technology capabilities. Today, our talk is about innovation, how really to manage innovation, and how we can really use the digital and technology as important capability, and we call it digital transformation. Next. The presentation is talking about how do we manage innovation. Next. We made a lot of research and master degrees and also PhDs is focusing about answering these questions. And we came with a theoretical model and then validated this model with hundreds of companies to make sure that it's working with them. And we came up with 4 tools, techniques, methods. The first one is about strategic planning. And of course, the Institute is the master of strategic planning, certification, etc. Strategic planning is one important element of managing anything, not only innovation in the world. It includes the goals, it includes the resources, and include the key indicators that we will measure our success in it. It's like roadmap. And I'm going to talk of it very quickly in a minute. And then the structure, the organization culture, structure, and transformational leader, special kind of leadership, which I'm going to explain in a minute. And then it should have a process in place, steps to come up with a solution or innovative product, service, whatever. Should be settled and well-established steps. We call it design thinking process that will help us to bring the solution and test it and make it sure it is successful and it is economic. After that, we find out that learning and knowledge management is an important factor to learn from inside and outside the organization, saving money and try and error, etc. Learning, we call it learning organization and knowledge management, and this is area of research. Then working together or linking, networking, we have two elements, open innovation and crowdsourcing, and I'm going to explain to you in a minute the difference between them. Next. So we'll start quickly with the blueprint or the guideline and the structure of a plan. Where are we at? What are our current challenges, our problem? Where do we want to go? And how we are going from here to there. This is called a strategic plan. And without guideline, without written documents that will explain the objectives and the areas of strengths and weakness and opportunities, etc., that will help us to achieve our objectives. It should be written and well structured, and everybody in the company should first participate in it and should take part of implementation itself. Next. 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 So we need to establish a strategy to help us priorities, choose actions, create a plan, allocate resources, and define our priorities and purposes. Next. So it is live document. This is not static. It is also changeable according to our needs, our goals changes, or our current challenges that's come. For example, we just passed through COVID era. And if this is a static document, we cannot do anything. But when it is dynamic, we can change it and try to solve our current challenges and how to do about it and write it down and make it clear to everybody. Next. It is not about predicting the future. It is just a very, very structured document that will help us to achieve our goals based on the what we call SWOT analysis. Let us go next slide. These are the steps we need to assess our organization, develop our vision and mission, and then assess the internal and external environment, and then agree on priorities. Every company has its own priorities. and then write the document itself, and then start the implementation and evaluate and monitor the success of achieving through the key indicators. Next. And of course, there is a lot of degrees in this area. Next. Again, next. So it starts with our vision, our dream, what we wanted to achieve, etc. This is called vision. And then next slide is about mission. What is our mission? We are trying to ask in this vision, we are trying to answer this question: what do we want to achieve, and what do we want to be in the future, and where do we want to go from now to 5 years or 10 years from now? Next. Mission, the purpose of our existence. Next. I'm not trying to give you a special course on strategic planning, because there are a lot of certification and master degrees, PhD, just in this specific area. Next. Next. This is what we call SWOT analysis, our area of strengths, weakness, opportunities, threats, etc. And based on this reality, we will decide our priorities and we'll decide our objective, because we know our capabilities and what is the challenges that we have, our weakness and our strengths, and we build on what we are good at. Next. 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 We need to have really what we call SMART goals, very specific. This is what we call it long term, and then there is small objectives or sub goals. It's called the objectives. It is just short term. Next. Our objective should be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely bound. Next. Next. Okay, now we will shift from, we know what we wanted to do, and we will start implementing this. It's clear to us what we wanted to do, and allocate resources and implementation plan, etc. Next. The additional to the corporate general strategic plan, we may have sub plans. Like, for example, we wanted to digitalize all our services. We call it digital. We need to have sub strategic plan for that. We need to manage innovation. We are really, our target is really to be an innovative company. Then we have what we call it innovation management strategic plan or sub plan from the big one. And we the value of the knowledge and expertise that we are having for so many years, we need also to manage this, because this is very, very crucial elements. So we may have some sub plans. Next. So we covered the first element now. Now we wanted to look at another important area, which is what we call it transformational leadership, culture and structure. This is another area that may really contribute to the success or failing our strategic plan. There are a lot of leadership that will help us and inspire us to achieve this kind of strategic plan. And I'm going to talk a little bit about it now, because transformation leadership is very important element of the whole success of the organization, to help everyone to reflect what is their vision, what their mission, how they want to be in 10 years, and reflect that and inspire everyone in the organization. Without this kind of leadership, also our results are not going to be achievable. Next. So culture is also another element of the culture is just a description of the dynamics between all these elements together and how we are going to achieve our goals, and also how we encourage people to try and make errors and accept that, because we are innovative. We are trying something new, so we don't push people to try something. One good example for that is one of the very famous companies in the market right now, the leading organization of knowledge and information all over the world. Do you know it? I don't know. I cannot see any answer for that. But Google is one of the big organizations, yes, Google, that have very unique culture. It hires people for ideas. You can be hired if you have great idea, just for that. It is very flexible, providing people all the means of being successful, tools, techniques, even giving them opportunity to 25% of their time, they can use it in something else other than their job. Very flexible culture. For example, banking is standard all over the world, but when you go from bank to another bank, you will literally be seeing something different based on this, what we call it, culture. People dealing with you and treating you differently from one bank to another because of the corporate or the company culture itself, or the bank culture. So I prepared a list of references for you. I don't know if they email it to you or not, but every section of my presentation has some references, like small or short videos, like published papers, articles, tools and techniques that I refer you to each of these elements that I'm talking about today. And feel free to ask a question even after my presentation. I will be more than happy to help you to go in depth in each of these elements, and also help you if you wanted to take advanced studies or certification, whatever. I hope that they email to you this list of references for each of these elements. Next. As I mentioned, you could have very specific strategic plan for digital transformation, and the key element of this, the right team, the right strategy, the right technology, and the right KPIs. Next. One element based on my experience is what we call it transformational leadership. It is not traditional or classic. It is different type of leadership. It's inspiring, and it is helping people to love what they do and push them to achieve their goal. They love to be there, and they help people to succeed. And this is very special kind of, we call it transformation. I have a book on that. Each of these elements has ebooks that I refer to them, and it will show you step by step how really to lead or how to be a transformation leadership. You could be also creative It helps you how to be creative. There are some references and some books on that. How to be, you don't have really to be born as a leader. Everything is teachable. You can learn it step by step and you can succeed. We believe in not born as a leader or not born as a genius. You can be genius by learning. You could be transformational leadership by learning. You can learn anything in the world if you wish. Nobody can stop you. Next. Yes, next. Next. This is, I don't know why it is not clear here. This is what we call transactional or classical leadership. Low expectation, minimal accomplishment, low level of satisfaction, and they are just focused on short-term or immediate results. The transformational leadership, next, is really have a vision and they help people to succeed in achieving their goals. And they have the capability to continue and also to change according to the current situation. They are not static, they are very dynamic, and they are motivated and motivate other people to achieve their goals. Next. Next. As you can see, this is, no, go back one element, one slide. Yes, they have inspirational and charisma. They have intellectual stimulation with creativity and innovation. Also, they are very considerable, and they are really treating every person in the organization as it should be. Very fair and inspire other people. Next. They have very high, what we call it, emotional intelligence. Next. 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 I talked about innovation culture. I don't have to repeat myself. Next. Take the four slides. The next 4 slides, please. Stop here. Stop here. This is the factor that will help us to create a successful business culture. It includes trust and leadership and everything underneath it, like mission, investment, and transparency. So we need to have trust. We need also to make opportunities for everybody, for the company and for the individuals. We need also to have a positive work environment. We don't punish people for trying something that doesn't exist before, and help them to succeed. Supportive management that they train and coach people inside. We also have what we call it meaningful work, like selecting the right person to the right job, etc. Empowerment team, autonomy, etc. Next. One element that is really important about innovation process. The steps we are going to take inside the organization to generate ideas, to evaluate ideas, to rank these ideas, and then to try these ideas and make sure it's successful, what we call it prototyping, and then put this in commercialization. This is called innovation process. Every successful innovative companies really have a formal process to implement, to generate and select and implement ideas. Next. I give you a lot of reference for that. We are here now. I hope that we will have enough time to cover the elements. If not, maybe Dr. Muhammad will suggest something. I'll do my best to finish the rest of this, as we have about 15 minutes. Maybe we can take 5 to 10 minutes extra to cover all this together. But the third element is really to have a process. Based on my experience, I have a design thinking process. It is very well-known process to really help in understanding the challenge and make some observation, and then integrating these elements together, generate ideas, then prototype and test this idea and make it sure it is successful and economic. Next. So our design thinking approach or process is called user-centered. We are connecting together the human values, the needs and the challenges that related to human. And then we are going to use some technology, visibility, and then combine with the business value for this solution. And all together, we call it design innovation or design thinking. Next. It is really trying to solve the real world problems, not certain category of people, from poor people to middle class to high class, who are looking for all kinds of solutions. Next. Also, we call it what we call it radical collaboration. There is no certain areas that will only be allocated or investigated. We have collaboration for all kinds of human knowledge, like engineering, like industry, like medical and biology, like business, like medical and local engineering or science, social science, education and design. All of them work together to bring the solution to the market at the end. Next. That's why we call it radical. It is multidisciplinary, and I told you we're accepting students from all fields, and we value the human capabilities and experience or expertise. We put them together to find the solution. Next. So it is about creativity exploration. Next. I put a lot of references and short videos in my list of references. You can watch it. And also, if you think after this webinar that you need special just webinar on one of these topics, we can do more free seminars or webinars at any or on any of these areas, 5 areas that we can go in depth in it. No problem. Next. So we need what we call it design thinking process or innovation process. We need a team, multidisciplinary team from any fields. And we need also variable space that will help us to prototype and design itself the solution and test it. So we need really some tools and some material, cheap material that will help us to design and test these ideas and make it successful. Next. Next. So these are the, no, go back. These are the 5 steps we discover. We try to understand the challenge, the problem. We are trying to go in depth, the root cause of the problem itself. And 80% of the right solution will depend how much we go here in depth. We are not here finding solution. We are not suggesting a solution. We are trying to understand the problem first. And then we collect, we interview people and collect the information from the real situation and collect all these videos, audios, pictures, etc. And we try to frame the problem. We call it here interpretation. We wanted to translate what we understood in it and search for meaning in it and frame the opportunities and solution. And we start, based on understanding, we started to generate ideas. Maximum number, there is no useless ideas. We accept any ideas from anybody in the team and respect that and refine it, rank it, and evaluate it. And then we try to make what we call it prototype. We test it. In real situation, we test it and go back to the original place where this problem and try to also ask a question about this kind of solutions. Is it acceptable? Is it economic, etc.? And in a minute, I will show you something that's very beneficial in that. And then we go and try and implement it in a larger scale. We call it here evaluation. Next. I put a lot of videos on that in my list of references. So in the next 5 slides, we'll make it quickly because it's just the pictures. Ideation. Next. Prototyping. Next. Framing, understanding the challenge. Next. Next. Ideation, prototyping. Next. Then make priorities based on our discoveries. And then execution. Next. Evaluation of the ideas and making sure it's successful, and taking it after making sure it's successful, we will go for implementation on larger scale after. There is one element I want to show you right now, which is very important. Next.
Yeah, Doctor, it is now 5 minutes to 10.
Yes. I'm going to try to finalize. As I mentioned, we need 5 to 10 minutes more, if that's possible.
Okay.
So we have what we call it innovation management. And I'm going to show you, after making sure the idea, what we call it business model. I'm not going to talk about digital transformation. Maybe we can make a special seminar or webinar for that. Next. Next. This is another model for innovation process and management. and Dr. Somerville is having a book for that, and he's explained the 4 steps, how to set the goals, how to recognize the opportunities, and find resources and develop the solution that create values. I have a reference for that. It's called Innovation Portal. You can visit this portal and you will understand all these steps in details. Next. There is another kind of innovation which we don't mention before. It's about social innovation related to the society, and this is very special for non-profit organizations that they care about really poor people or social people, social problems, and trying to coming up with innovative solution for it. Next. Next. This is what I have an idea, and now I wanted to go in depth in it. So I need to use this model to understand. Here, the solution we call value proposition. What is my solution and what will do for the industry or the economy or technology, whatever. And then I need to understand if I have a product or service, how I'm going to, who is going to create the relationship between me and my customer or clients, and also what kind of customer segments. I have to write this down, and there is tools for that online that can help you to come up with this segmentation, and also the channels of approaching the client itself, and then what kind of key activities that I'm supposed to do to provide this kind of service or product, and what kind of human capital resources I need to do it, and also who are going to be my partners, who's going to help me in doing that. And then the money structure, the cost structure, and the revenue structure. This is very successful business model that it's used now by many companies to evaluate any product or service or solution, regardless what the application is. Next. The next element is also the trend of expanding and extending any company capabilities. We call it open innovation and open collaboration, shifting from me as an individual or as a team or the company to we. It means that not only my company, but other companies or other teams can work with me to build the solution. And that's why we call it radical collaboration and also crowdsourcing. In a minute, I will explain to you the crowdsourcing, the difference between crowdsourcing and open innovation. In a nutshell, open innovation is accepting ideas from outside the company. Next slide. Because not all smart people are working for us, then we have to look in different ways and different means to get these smart people help us find the solution. Next. Next. As I mentioned, it is opening the company. The traditional way that every company is closed and they have the research team, they don't accept any ideas, they have limited human capital, they have limited resources, and they have limited expertise. So open innovation is opening the company for other people from outside the company, even customers and partners, and also competitors. You can open for them to provide us with new ideas and solutions. This is what the core of the open innovation. Next. Also, we need to outsource what we call it crowdsourcing. It means that not only our team is going to participate in that, but other society expertise, other community participants and members are going to help us in finding the solution and work with us closely. Next. And this is the trends of next 10, 20 years. We are really can focus at any of this area: business objective, boundary conditions, strategic platforms, or wicked ideas or problems. And we accepting ideas from employees, from customers, from partner suppliers, from market, from matchmakers and expertise, marketplaces, and also business and media analytics. We're accepting ideas from all these resources. Next. So it could include product and services. It could be related to operation. It could be related to management and taking decisions and cultures. Next. So we work together on business models, innovation, product and services and markets, and process innovation. And we accept ideas from any of these sources. Next. Next. And it also, no, go back one slide. So it is also at any phases of generating ideas. In the area of generating ideas. It also, they will help us in evaluating and select the ideas. They will help also to develop and implement the ideas. So we are open for any participants from inside or outside the organization to help us in coming out with a solution. Next. These are the sources of innovation: customers, business unit heads, employees, in-house research and development, CEOs, business partners, suppliers, and at any level of employees. We accept either from humble, simple worker with us. Next. One of the successful areas, they involved customers in coming up with great ideas and solutions. Next. And we are also collaborating with what we call it lead customers. Those are the runners who are interested in our solution, and they are the first to get it. So they will have, this is hungry for a solution and will help us to achieve certain degree of success. Next. So we use them, we are connected with them. As you know, when they provide test some software, they give it to this lead and tell them, try it and give us back before putting it in the market. So the lead customer is very important. Also the business unit leaders. Next. Next. There is a community that will help us to really communicate and find either social applications and innovation that will help us to solve the community challenges and problems, including developing the ideas, evaluating it, and contributing with really new ideas and solutions. Next. It includes all levels of participation: management, market awareness, processes, and organization integration. All these are part of what we are going to do together. Next. To summarize what I just mentioned regarding open innovation and crowd sourcing, we end up, we have the right philosophy. We believe in that, and we will do it together. We have the full support of management, and we have a great reputation in doing this with the community, and we are the house where or marketplaces leaders that will help us to implement the open innovation and crowdsourcing or crowd innovation. I'm going to make quickly this next slide because we are out of time. Next. This is about crowdsourcing. Next. Crowd and outsourcing. We put these two elements together when we call it outsourcing. And it is really creating a community that will help us to find solution for them and for us. And we work together without limitation to achieve that kind of goals. Next. Can we make quickly this? Finally, I'm going to talk in a nutshell. I will take 1 to 2 minutes to explain to you the knowledge management. I'm not going to go over the slides. Knowledge management, knowledge is power. The more you know, the more you have power really to achieve your goals, and the more you can really meet the challenges that facing us as a community and society everywhere. So accumulated knowledge, there is accumulation, knowledge accumulated inside the organization, and there is accumulated knowledge outside the organization. You can take all the internal knowledge and make it accessible to everyone and code it. So whoever have these skills or knowledge, when he leaves the company, he's not going to take the knowledge with him. The knowledge is going to stay and shared by everyone in the community and in the company. And you can also search for knowledge outside and purchases or get it to your organization. This is a nutshell. It's very challenging area of research right now, but this is will help the organization to be more powerful and use the knowledge from inside and outside. Thank you very much for the presentation, and I will be, there is no time for question. Please send your question to the moderators, and I will be more than happy to have the special session for answering the questions or email you the question. You have also a lot of resources, the list of resources that you can use. I'm ready to offer you another sessions for each one of these 5 areas to go in depth in it. I'll be more than happy to go in depth in it and help you to understand it. I will provide you with all the resources that will help you to succeed in your organization, regardless where are you at. Thank you very much.
Shukran, ya Doctor. Thank you so much. Wallahi, truly the presentation was very rich and so much content. You know, I agree with you. This, you know, it deserves to be covered in several, you know, Zoom meetings. Some of the participants are asking if they can have copy of the presentation. We have, of course, all the contacts of the people who signed up and the people who showed up tonight. And we'll just would like to ask the permission of Dr. Nada if we can share the PDF.
Sure, you can share it, no problem.
Okay. If anybody has any questions, please put it into the chat. We can just take 3 minutes until 10:15. The date of the next session, somebody is asking, Mujahid. Inshallah, once we schedule it, you are now in our mailing list. For all future webinars, we will be sending you an invitation, and you will know when we schedule it, inshallah. Please provide the link for contacting you. Yes, anybody who would like to contact us, just drop us your email or your mobile number and send the message to the moderators, not to everybody, and we will be very happy to put you in touch with Dr. Nada.
Dr. Muhammad, did you send them the resources list that I send you to share everyone participated?
Yes.
Did you email them?
No, not yet. We were waiting until the end of the presentation, but we'll be very happy to send it tonight to everybody, inshallah.
Yeah, please send it to them and get some feedback from everyone, what areas they are interested to learn more, and we can hold another future seminars or webinars to go in depth in these 5 areas.
Okay.
At the same time, if they are interested to get certified, for example, in design thinking or any of these areas, we will be more than happy to allocate you to whoever is going to certify you. And if you are also wanted to take advanced degree, like bachelor's degree or master's degree or PhD at any of these areas, I will be more than happy to help you.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. This will be very nice. And thanks for Sidra from Pakistan, and for Shihab. We have a full recording of the event. It was broadcasted live on YouTube in the same time. And the link, Faisal, if you don't mind, Faisal put the link for the YouTube recording. So anybody who missed any part who would like to share the link with other people, we'll be happy. You can view the full recording. Mr. Majid and Ansari will be in touch with you, inshallah. Mr. Mazin is asking, ما هي أكثر الدول العربية نجاحا في الإبداع? If Dr. Nada allows me, in United Arab Emirates, they have their latest version of the Excellence Award has a whole track for innovation, and I think they have done a good job. Even in Awqaf, they are very innovative in how the Awqaf is managed. And unless Dr. Nader would like to add something.
No problem, of course. United Emirates, they have the e-government and a lot of solution. So they are really leading many other countries in the area of digital transformation. But regarding the innovation ecosystem, so far I don't see really a comprehensive and very successful model around the Middle East. We still have lack of academic institution, research centers, and academic centers who are offering special degrees, for example, bachelor's degree in innovation or entrepreneurship, master, PhD. We still have lack of academic institution that will support the ecosystem to really grow and be what we call it future-wise, continue really to produce new ideas, new products, new expertise in this area. We have a very limited people who are expertise in this area, innovation management. We don't have institutions that help to develop and bring to human capital this kind of expertise. This is a challenge for all of us.
I'm very glad that even though that we are, 17 minutes beyond the time, almost all the participants are still present. Doctor, I will send you a list from the chat of all the questions, and you will see the name and the email of the sender, so you can respond to them individually.
I will be more than happy to communicate with everyone.
Inshallah.
And I'll do my best to help you to succeed. Inshallah.
Thank you. Thank you for such sharing spirit. And we thank all the participants for being with us tonight. I just would like to bring to your attention.
And I'm sure I apologize for taking longer. And the material is very extensive. I couldn't really cover all of it. I'm sorry about that.
No. It seems that we will need to reschedule another one, because we are receiving so many messages of people who are appreciating the content and they are interested to know more. And I know that you had many slides that you didn't manage to cover. In conclusion, I would like just to remind.
Let us get some feedback from them, and I am more than happy to have a special session for each one of them. All these 5 areas need more explanation. I will be more than happy to discuss each one of them in a separate webinar, if that's okay with you.
Okay, this is very good. So let us just take this one last minute for people to drop notes in the chat and just mention which topic you are interested and you would like to have another, webinar schedule to cover it in more depth. Just mention the topics that you are interested in. We will summarize all of these chats and send them to Dr. Nada.
Also, one thing, important thing, that I represented these 5 elements in what we call it mind map. Mind map is a tool of creativity, generated ideas, problem solving, organizing knowledge, presenting knowledge. I recommend every one of you to learn mind maps. The generic, or what we call it, not using the lines, using the natural way of representing knowledge. And it will help you to study, it will help you to manage, find solutions. And I am ready also to, I was working with Tony Buzan for several years around the world. I'm also will be more than happy to provide you with special session on mind map, how to use mind map in thinking, in taking decision, in arranging knowledge, etc. This is extra offering. Do you hear me?
Okay, yes, we hear you. We got already a big list of topics that people are interested in. We will summarize this and share it with you. And I would like to thank you again, Doctor. Very rich presentation for sure. We will schedule several ones right after Ramadan, inshallah, so we can give opportunity for everybody to focus on Ramadan and their ibadat, inshallah. I just would like, in conclusion, to mention to you that the Global Performance Management Academy are offering several courses and professional certificates, which are, certified by Missouri State University. And anybody who's interested in taking or studying the courses, we are delivering them in different formats, which make them more accessible. You can take them by video or Zoom or online, or even in a classroom. We hold them in Dubai and in Riyadh. So if you are interested to receive more information about how to get certified in strategic planning and performance management, we'll be very happy to share this with you. And you will all receive a link to the video and the link to the PDF from Dr. Nada. And inshallah, we'll keep you posted for the future sessions with Dr. Nada, inshallah. Thank you again.
Also, I wanted to add, if any one of you is interested to have a degree or certificate from Switzerland, master, PhD, I will be more than happy to help you in your application and maybe get also scholarship from the university, inshallah.
Inshallah, this is very nice. Thank you so much, Ya Doctor. And I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless you and your health and your knowledge. And thanks to all the participants for being with us for 1.5 hours. And we look forward to see all of you again soon, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.